Oh my God! I hate watching this shit, bro. I hate fucking the police.
He just slammed the fuck out of her. That's fucked up.
Yeah, when she was right there. Yeah, right. And he already had her hands. Like, that shit's so unnecessary.
Damn. Man, you call yourself being overly aggressive. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. You know, the thing is, in the black community, we have been sick and tired of seeing this crap. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. This stuff is getting old. It's unnecessary. And it's just force. That's all it is. Unnecessary force. The situation with this, guys, is that these young ladies actually allegedly were involved in a robbery situation. But I mean, be that as it may, I had to actually play the clip over several times. And I'm gonna explain to you guys why I did that. Because each time that I actually played the clip over, I was trying to justify in my mind. I said, now, him being aggressive with this young lady and the way that he used that takedown on this lady, I'm thinking to myself, I said, is it justified, right? Is there some piece of evidence in that clip that would justify his actions? So yeah, I had to play it back several times. So I'm like, well, she seems like she's following orders. She turned around, she backed up to the officer. Now, she did have her hands behind her back, but she wasn't handcuffed. So there is a slight chance, like a slight possibility that something still could go down with this young lady. I mean, she still could have had a weapon on her, gun, knife, etc. But she's backing up to the officer. Now, when the officer did actually secure her, I was thinking to myself, okay, he got her without incident. That's it. Now, that split second between the time that he grabbed her to the time that he slammed on the ground, that's the piece of evidence in the video I was looking for. Because I said, let's see if we find a justifiable piece of reason why he did it. And to be honest with you, the very first view, I was like, it seemed like she was trying to run. Like that split second, guys, like she took like that little side back step, like she was about to take off running. But the more and more and more I played it, I was like, she didn't try to run. I mean, that's what I saw, guys, and that's my opinion on the situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. But I'm like, she didn't try to run. He just was overly aggressive, which a lot of them are, and he just used unnecessary force, which a lot of them do. And it's unfortunate. But, so what I did, guys, I actually pulled up some information, man, because I wanted to kind of, you guys know I got to put this stuff into context, because I like to get backstories on these incidents, man, just so that, you know, we're all on the same page and that we know exactly, you know, what's going on in that situation, all right? So I'm going to cue this up for y'all right now. Bam, let's get this up on the screen. And it should be popping up on the screen right now. All right, guys, so this is according to hot109.com is the site I'm pulling this information from. And let's get into this. So, According to the local reporting by 10 TV, the incident occurred in Columbus, Ohio's Linden neighborhood after officers responded to a call about a person allegedly attempting to break into a home and making threats. During the encounter, video shows a woman being taken to the ground by officers with what authorities later described as a leg sweep maneuver. The footage quickly spread online, prompting scrutiny and concern from the public. All right, let's get on down to this. Let's get that off of there. All right, so Columbus police confirmed the case has been referred to the city's inspector general for review, and the body camera footage has been requested as part of the investigation. Officials say the goal is to determine whether the officers' actions were consistent with department policy. Let's see here, guys. Just gonna skim through this. For Black residents in particular, the steady stream of videos showing police force, whether fatal or not, has created a sense of exhaustion and frustration. Each new clip feels less like an isolated event and more like a continuation of a painful pattern, which I mentioned before. Even when investigations are launched, accountability often feels uncertain and the emotional burden continues to grow. All right. And let's see here. As the Inspector General's investigation unfolds, the case is likely to reignite broader conversation about policing, accountability, and whether current reforms are enough to address long-standing concerns. For many, the question is no longer just what happened in the specific incident, but how many more times they will be asked to watch it happen again. All right, y'all. Let me see real quick before I close this article out. Here's the last one, guys. I'm kind of going backwards a little bit, but Fraternal Order Police President Brian Steele defended the officers' actions, stating these types of encounters are inherently high risk and require officers to act quickly to ensure the safety of the public, the officers involved, and individuals being detained. He added that the takedown technique used is considered a low-level use of force within departmental guidelines. All right. So that's the information in a nutshell, guys. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. It all goes back to what I said in the beginning. Was this legal? Was this justified? In this particular situation? My personal opinion, no. Because the lady was obviously had her back turned. Again, I can't specifically say if she was unarmed or not. We wasn't there, so we can't really put that out into the atmosphere. But if a person has their back towards you, generally they're not going to be a threat. Okay, generally. Okay. So when the officer grabbed the young lady, he had everything under control. You had 2 or 3 more officers behind you with handguns drawn. So nothing was going to happen the way that people thought it was going to happen. But once you have a situation under control, once a suspect is in handcuffs, the show is over. They're no longer considered a threat. And that's the end of the story. Too many times, guys, we've seen people, I'm not going to name the names, that was in handcuffs, that was still brutally beaten, that was still, brutalized. They still have guns drawn on them. They're still being pinned down to the ground, etc. With your hands behind your back, laying on your stomach in handcuffs. What threat are you going to be to anybody at that point in time? You see what I'm saying? So, as I asked in a previous video, man, I said it's got to be, or is it some sort of specialized training that these police officers typically go through when it comes to dealing with people of color? I mean, these are questions that I ask. Nobody else seems to ask that question, because anytime they deal with people of color, the aggression level goes up. It goes up. Why is that? Why are other races of people generally allowed to verbally assault police? Sometimes physically assault police? Sometimes premeditated assaults, meaning like they're grabbing guns and knives and machetes and all this stuff out of vehicles and approaching the police face to face. And sometimes nothing happens. They get tased, they drop to the ground, and then, they're arrested. But somebody look like me, as I stated before, guys, in the previous video, I can move the wrong way. I can look the wrong way. And any action that I take, if it's not calculated in the mind of that police officer, because trust me, guys, he's already nervous. He's already on edge about the situation. He's looking at a person who looks like me as already an extreme threat. So, as I stated before, I don't have a chance like that. I don't have a chance to really get myself out of a situation before it all turns to hell. Before I'm supposedly or maybe unalived behind a situation. You follow what I'm saying, guys? So, I don't know, man. This stuff is getting tiresome. I'm going to deem it as unnecessary. And, it's just what it is, man. But we have to do an investigation on this to figure out if this stuff was justified. Luckily, this lady was able to walk away. Nothing happened to her. And it's just a crazy country that we live in. That's all I can say. So y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like I said, man, don't forget to let me know how y'all feel about the situation. If you think it was justified, let me know down below in the comment section. If you don't think it was justified, let me know that as well. All right? So I do appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to catch y'all in the very next one. All right? Peace.